Welcome back to Beards and Brews. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Ring that little bell so you know when we have another one brewing. This week's movie is going to be Space Tits. I mean Species. What'd you think?
Earth girls are easier when they're a hybrid alien?
That's what I hear. And this was growing up through my early adolescence. This came out in 1995. This was, I'll tell you, one of my most rented movies back in the day for reasons.
Yeah, this is definitely early time spank bank. Like before porn was easy and you would still use the Spice Channel scramble and then you would also use the Montgomery Ward's bra section.
I can definitely see those poor Hollywood video employees having to disinfect those tapes rolling back in that slot.
Oh man, okay,
For
that's
sure.
a fucking great point. That's a great point. I never thought about what it was like for the employee to see the same kid coming up and slamming down Species over and over.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's almost like the kid that only rents the first VHS of Titanic. Like, you know what's up.
There's both. He's like, nah, I just need the one.
Yeah, I don't want to know how it ends.
So, first of all, this has kind of a stacked cast for what this is, and I didn't even remember Michelle Williams was in this at all. This is introducing Michelle Williams, I guess, as early teenage alien hybrid baby.
Oh, you mean the little girl version?
Yeah.
I think I didn't pay too much attention to it because the movie didn't allow me. Like, she's literally a kid version for 15 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I saw it on the the opening roll. I was like, Michelle Williams is in this? Really? And then it's first person you see, that's Michelle Williams. Okay.
The wife did the same thing. She's like, Michelle Williams is in this? And then she sees the kid and goes, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. At the beginning of the movie, the only thing I was trying to figure out was why am I looking at the fucking night sky for 3.5 minutes? I get it. It's about aliens.
It's about tentacle nipples.
Tentacle nipples. So tentacles coming out through the nipples? That's terrifying.
Was hentai a thing yet?
I mean, this was the kickstarting moment.
No, Japanese people are fucking weird. They've been all about tentacles for literally centuries.
I get that. Yeah, they got those dick parades and everything. They're onto something.
Welcome to the dick parade.
My father.
But yeah, this is a movie that you guys have spoken about a little bit. I have memories of the movie, but maybe it's just surface. I had never actually watched the movie all the way through. And now that I've finished it, goodness. I don't understand how anybody said yes to this.
I mean, okay, you've got a lot of big names in this actor-wise. Yes. But aside from that, you've got the alien models that are by H.R. Geiger. A lot of people are probably thinking this is going to be the next big alien franchise.
Oh, dude, 100%. His model. Okay, let me just go ahead and get into the special effects here. Every time you see a practical special effect on screen, looks great.
It's outstanding.
Fucking looks great. But then they do that thing, that fucking 1990s early CGI thing.
Oh, fuck.
They're like, you know what looks great? This fucking horridly animated Green Goblin looking motherfucker.
I mean, I wish we could watch this together because I'm watching and to myself I'm just how embarrassing.
Yeah, there is such a big difference between the practical effects because at some points it looks as good as Alien or Aliens, sometimes as good as The Thing, and then you've got Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's worse than that. It's fucking Spawn. it had the same fucking cartoon aspect to it, and you can definitely see they had good ideas.
Yeah.
But the execution was legitimately someone walking into the special effects room and executing the special effects artist.
So the best comparison, straight up, and you're gonna agree, I know you will. Mortal Kombat Reptile.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I kind of thought about Reptile.
Absolutely. It's something about that 90s CG where they watch Jurassic Park and they're like, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, no problem.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, basically, so the story behind the beginning of this movie is scientists got a signal from some extraterrestrial place. I guess it gave them instructions on how to combine DNA, like a different strain of DNA with human DNA, and I don't know why scientists would ever want to do that, because they have seen Jurassic Park and they know shit gets whack. But they do it anyway.
You hit the nail on the head. It's just like, you have this wacky idea, and it's just that stupid fucking line or whatever from Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. He's like, you spend your life doing what you can, not even thinking about why you should. And that applies to this whole movie, to be honest.
Yeah. We're treated to Michelle Williams as this little girl. I guess she does a good job, because you see her for 3 seconds and then she fifth elements out of there. So Ben Kingsley's like, you had a nightmare. I'm going to murder you with cyanide.
It's so weird, isn't it? Like, just think about it. So there's so much stuff the movie's trying to relay all at the same time, and they fucking miss every single little beat. So this kid's trapped in like a little dome thing. It's like, okay, oh man, why is she here? I feel kind of bad for her. Maybe she's like some kind of medical experiment. And then they immediately start gassing her. And you're like, well, I had like 1 minute to like absorb this information. I have no backstory whatsoever. And then it zooms in super hard on fucking Gandhi's face, and a single tear is just rolling down his face. I'm just like, is that like her papa or whatever? And then like he runs over to these old TVs and stuff and looking at all this information. He's got that fucking look like that dude from 2001: The Space Odyssey has. Like, this is brilliant. Look at all this information. And then as soon as she escapes, he's like, wait, no, dangerous, don't.
And who the fuck put the emergency exit right there? It leads right outside. Just straight the fuck outside.
I feel like that's just like either really bad location or like really bad screenwriting. It's like, okay, she escapes. Well, how'd she get out? The door.
Yeah, the door.
Then. What's next to the door? Train tracks.
Yeah, exactly. It's
obviously what else are we gonna put next to a door but like a train? Duh. But yeah, this girl is she was, I guess, born just a few weeks ago. This DNA that has, where'd they get the fucking DNA from in the first place? Like, they talk
from
about
space.
it. Well, they didn't get any matter from space. It was just like a message, and it's like, hey,
they just got the 3D printing instructions for it. That's all.
Yeah, it's like, hey, if you do this with DNA, cool shit happens. Okay, let's try it.
And they put it in their fucking secret decoder ring, and that's what fell out.
Yeah, like no actual alien DNA came from anywhere. It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna do science stuff, and we're gonna get this half alien girl. That makes sense.
They spliced it, since they didn't have any alien DNA on hand. Just like Jurassic Park had to use the frog, they were like, oh, well, we got to use something. What do you got? We got hentai tentacle monsters. They're like, sold.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
And no time in the movie did they give a reason why. Like, was this like to produce some kind of like super weapon, some kind of like, scientific advancement that could help humanity or something like that? And they're just like, it sounded fucking cool.
Yeah. No, they just never say science. What organization they're with or anything. They're just people. They just show up and run inside buildings, and everyone's okay with it.
Dude, that's a good point. Like, they never say they're part of like the FBI, CIA. They're just like, underground government thing. By the way, we're head by Ben Kingsley. It's okay. He's Gandhi.
Ben Kingsley, he was just like a guy with a ham radio who like overheard the conversation coming in from like SETI and was like, hey, that sounds cool as shit. I'm going to do that. Somebody get me a lab.
He rented out a small little place next to the tracks.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's not a scientist. He just like, he knows his way around a cell, and, he's like, I could quit my job at the Holiday Inn. Man, I'm in.
He dabbles. He's a dabbler.
Yeah, he dabbles in science. He got a B in his high school course.
He got on Reddit, reached out to some people.
But teenage Michelle Williams jumps out and, scurries away, finds herself on like a train car and kills a guy on her way. All the normal stuff.
She fucking turned this guy into a pretzel, and I laughed way harder than I should.
Yeah, with like an arm shove, this dude snaps in half and is doing a backwards crab walk.
It was so abrupt. Like, I know the movie has to show you like she's super strong, but like, damn.
But she's never that strong again, ever.
I guess when she breaks apart that one lady in the bathroom, there's that, but that's really about it.
Oh wait, no, she has that movie strength where it only matters whenever she's not fighting somebody with plot armor.
True.
There you go.
But she winds up in this podunk town, and like you see her like scurrying around trying to steal snacks and everything. She ends up like stealing someone's luggage for whatever reason and hopping onto another train.
It's this happens a lot in this movie where they want to show you how she learns, and it's just always so flat and awkward. And that whole scene of her like stealing, quote unquote, stealing something from the store was just so that she could briefly learn how money can be exchanged for goods and services.
Yeah, but
what
she
did you
still
learn
hasn't.
today, Sil? Capitalism.
Yeah, but she still hasn't learned how to fucking peel a banana.
Oh man, like that was gross. More gross
Yeah.
than like when she turns into like the wall vagine. I was just like, oh man.
Yeah,
That's not how
but
you do
man, the wall vagine looks so fucking cool. Not the tentacles that are used to wrap her to the wall, but the wall vagine itself looks amazing.
Yeah. So just briefly, like she's on this train headed to LA, and she's kind of like hijacking all this food and whatever, just so she can evolve into her next form. And unbeknownst to her, like once she levels up, she fucking grows all this gross shit, and she like turns herself into a cocoon. Trademark. Old people movie.
This is at 12:01 midnight. All right, 12:01. She eats all of Billy Madison's snack packs. You're not supposed to like feed this thing after midnight. She cocoons just like a gremlin.
This poor lady, this poor train employee has been checking up on this little girl forever because she just looks like a girl that's, by herself. She's on her way to LA. She thinks, her parents might be waiting for her or something. She tries to help her out. He's like, hey, baby, you okay in there? Walks in and is immediately eviscerated. I was just like, that's not how you write a movie.
Yeah, she just gets sucked up into this like mucus cocoon vagina thing and then just spit out naked.
Fucking for sure, dude. She is birthed on the spot.
Just plops out, titties akimbo.
Titties akimbo. One in each hand.
Yeah, dude, she's dual wielding them bitches for the rest of the movie. It's her only weapon. She's like, titties? And we're like, yeah, I like titties. I'll keep watching, I guess.
Yeah, meanwhile, we actually get an introduction to who I call the Planeteers through the whole thing. It's this ragtag team of, I don't know, you got Michael Madsen, Alfred Molina, Forrest Whitaker, Marg Helgenberger. I just call her Redhead through the whole thing. And then the team is led by Gandhi himself, Sir Ben Kingsley. These guys, like you've got Michael Madsen is like what is he? He's like a bounty hunter of some type.
Sure.
He's the
I'd
tough guy.
I don't really even know what Alfred Molina does. He's just, I don't know if somebody could fill me in on that. He's just a dude.
He's a
quote unquote scientist.
Yeah, he's a biologist.
Well, I thought Marg, the redhead, was the microbiologist. Is he just another type of scientist?
He's Dr. Octopus.
Okay.
Whatever.
And then Forrest Whitaker is like this sensitive psychic kind of guy.
Oh my God.
You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. Like through this whole movie, I gave everybody nicknames because I could give 4 fucks about their characters' names. So the redheaded lady, she's CSI.
Yep.
Michael Madsen, he's Michael Madsen. The leader of the group, Gandhi, of course. Alfred Molina, Dr. Octopus, and good old Forrest Whitaker, Chocolate Rain Man.
Oh shit! I love them all. The only one that I will differ with you is Michael Madsen. To me, wasn't Michael Madsen. He was Michael Madsen being Tom Sizemore.
I don't know what he was trying to do. Like, I don't know what emotion he was trying to like get at me. Like the whole time, like no matter where he was always looking at the ground. And when the camera came to him, he had to look over his shoulder like James fucking Dean every time.
That's what cool guys do.
Can we just discuss that there is zero character development through this entire film? For a movie that is, with an ensemble cast as big a names as these guys are, not a single one of them put forth a single effort to act. Ben Kingsley is atrocious in this film.
Yes,
Ben
he is.
Kingsley.
He is fucking embarrassing. Like that scene that we're talking about when they first get the mystery team together. He goes through fucking 5 pages of exposition without even taking a breath. He's like, this is what happened day 3, day 4, day 19. This was yesterday. By the way, this is my shaving kit. Dollar Shave Club, kids.
By the way, just another thing on that. What the fuck was Ben Kingsley's accent trying to do?
Thank you.
It was
That's
all
my
over
man.
the place.
He was just trying to like cover up his English accent, but then he realized he's getting paid by the fucking, I don't know, snack pack, so he didn't give a fuck towards the end.
Why didn't they just say, hey, Ben Kingsley, you're British? And he'd be like,
Yeah.
fine. Because his
Just do your
American
normal
accent
thing.
was awful. And God damn it, I want to like Forrest Whitaker. Okay, I've seen him in things and really enjoyed him in things, but in this fucking movie, every time I saw him, I was just like, what the fuck?
Like, he brings nothing to the team aside from like maybe the one time toward the end he's like, oh, she went that way or something. Like everything else that he says is just like, well, yeah, that was fucking obvious. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, but even Michael Madsen, like they're like, oh, she went this way, and he just turns around and goes, yeah, no shit. Like he does that through the whole thing. This character that Forrest Whitaker is playing, I talk real soft and confused, like because I'm a sensitive dude, and you're gonna need my psychic powers that will never, ever, ever be used. He never does anything psychic. He literally looks at a scene and tells you what's going on. It's like hindsight. That's all he's doing. It's like, oh, dead bodies. That's bad.
Like as he's trying to sniff farts through whatever scene he's in, like even his other fellow actors are just like, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like toward the end, even like you mentioned with Michael Madsen, I feel like he's getting a little bit frustrated with the writing. Like, yeah, fucking, I guess that's obvious. Like, why do we need you?
Man, yeah, like so... there's a scene coming up where they're like trapped in a little room that's got that fucking emotion all over it.
Okay, so I know what you're talking about, but there's a scene later on in the bar with him and CSI, and they have like some genuine chemistry going on because I think they're just talking about how much they don't give a fuck. Now, you never get to hear what they're saying, but they were genuinely cracking the fuck up over at the bar.
Oh, for sure. Then you have like Alfred Molina trying to act. Like, it's not his fault. The material he's given is fucking atrocious. But like, you know, his character has to come over and say like, hey, I'm going up to my room because this party ain't my scene, bro. Mm-hmm. And then fucking Michael Madsen just like, yeah.
Beat it.
Yeah. It's like, all right.
Thanks for coming over. Oh, but it's so hard to kind of talk about this movie because nothing happens. It's literally just a recycling of her going, okay, I learned something. I'm doing that thing. I want some dick. Oh, here's the people. I got away. And then it repeats 4 times until the end of the movie.
Yeah. It's super frustrating to watch, too, because they're seemingly always right behind her in this whole mystery, this whole scheme. Mm-hmm. But they also feel like they're 1,000 miles away at the same time.
But there's also no way for them to ever know where the fuck she is, but they find her every single time.
Yeah, that's legitimately the entire movie hinging on fucking Chocolate Rain Man because he just sniffs her out every single time.
But it's like every time they find evidence left behind, it's like, oh, this one's fresh. It's only been here 10 minutes. Well, how far can she get in 10 minutes? Well, she could be anywhere.
Oh my god, that little bit of dialogue that Ben Kingsley had when they found out that like she got on a train. Oh god. He's like looking around like a fucking parrot. He's like, well, is she fast? Yes, she's fast. And then it just fucking hard cuts to her in LA already. Just like, all right.
Well, she's fast, but the train's still on schedule.
True. Yeah, she hops off the train at LAX with a dream and a cardigan. Well, not really a cardigan, but like the train worker's outfit. Pops off wearing that. Starts to hunt down like new clothes. She goes to buy a wedding dress and just wears it out of the shop.
I guess sells a wedding dress for $100. What the fuck?
95 in Los Angeles too.
Like I'm under the impression it could just be like a costume shop. Like maybe that wasn't like a legitimate wedding dress or whatever. But like this adds absolutely nothing to the movie. It's legitimately 10 minutes.
She takes it off immediately.
Lopped off. Yeah, exactly. Like she already, I guess, I don't know. The movie is, I guess, trying to show that she did learn how money works. but then in the exact next scene when she's at the hotel, she pays money for it. So there's no need for this whatsoever. Like, nothing weird or funny happens.
No, she's just walking around town in a dress, like, making my way downtown, and I miss you, do. You know, it's just like, what the fuck?
But I do like a little bit of the dialogue here between the Planeteers, or whatever you want to call them. Like, once they find out that she's got to LA, which I guess is where they were suspecting that she was going anyway, one of them's like, yeah, LA is perfect for her. Nothing's taboo, and everyone's a freak.
Wow.
Yeah.
What commentary.
Yeah, that's some insight right there. But another little kind of throwaway line from Mr. Chocolate Rain Man. Once they find the lady all bent out of shape in the train, he's like, she's a predator. Her eyes are in front. I'm like, yeah, just like one of yours. Like, come on, man.
She looks exactly like a person. Thanks, pal. 10 out of 10. Welcome to the team. You're an asset.
Oh my God. Okay, so she has to use the credit card at the hotel, and that's how they find her there. But she's going to go to the club, right? Now, this blows my mind, and I need y'all's help with this.
Yeah.
She's like, where can I find a man? And the guy's like, down the street. Wouldn't you go, well, what am I, chopped liver?
No, you're absolutely right. Like, this fella just saw this objectively gorgeous woman just walking. He's like, hey, I need some dick. Where can I find dick? And he's just like, sweat, you know?
Oh, it's Dumb and Dumber all over again. Oh, well, you want to go down the road here for about 13 miles. You find another town, and then like, oh my God, wait. And they run up to the bus, and you think that they realize that they could be the ones who are like, it's the other way.
Yeah, it's just absurd. But then you realize, like, the movie has to have it that way so the police can come talk to him and get the evidence later.
True.
Oh, they immediately go on to show you that any cock will do. Like, she just needs a dick. She doesn't care whose dick, just a dick.
Well, she does get a little bit picky because the first guy she picks out at the club, he's a diabetic. So that's not going to do, right?
I don't understand that. Like, how is that like a thing? You know, like, I know, like, she's trying to find, like, maybe like the perfect match, someone who has like no genetic anomalies whatsoever, but that seems like such a blasé thing to kill a guy over.
Nope. If he's diabetic, that's a deal breaker, ladies.
I don't know. It's almost like if they found the next dead guy and they're like, oh my God, he's got eczema.
You know what would have been even better, though? Had she slept with the dude with diabetes. That way, at least they could have explained why the baby at the end was all malformed.
It looks like Wilford Brimley.
Yeah, it's like, what happened to the baby? Ah, diabetes.
No.
Now, you remember when I kept telling you that they beat it with sickle cell and a pitchfork? That's species 2.
Ah, okay. How many these are there? Like 4 or 5? I feel like it's this kind of movie where like the sequels are just like immediately picked up by sci-fi. Like they're just like around the corner, like that guy rubbing his hands.
I think there was one like actual theatrical sequel, and then any more was just like direct-to-video garbage.
Yeah, I get that.
Species 2 had Forrest Whitaker and the same lady again. You know, it's still like a bigger cast. But after that, no. Now, she's at the club that we were discussing, and she's trying to get a man. And this other bitch is like, honey, my man. All's fair in love and war. And her first response is to go around where the fuck does she go, number one? Because she plunges her arm through the wall and breaks this lady's goddamn spine.
Like maybe she went to like the boys' restroom or something like next door. But this whole thing doesn't make any sense, much like a lot of this movie. So she kills this poor woman in the dumbest way. Like she's taking a fucking shit, she gets her spine ripped off. And just because she's competition for the guy she wants to fuck, but like she winds up changing her mind anyway and picking somebody else. Like that whole thing didn't matter again.
Why did she pick that guy if she knew that she wasn't going to fuck him?
Well, I don't think she really had an idea of his genetic disposition until, you know, he got home with him and was feeling him out. Maybe she had some kind of like extrasensory perception that was like, oh, his blood sugar level is a little low. Maybe I shouldn't.
So like her spotting him at the bar is like, oh, wait, aren't you that parking attendant from Ferris Bueller? Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, like I've got him down as like this Eddie Vedder looking guy, which might have been in at the time, but he does not look like a catch today.
Well, he gets Eddie Vedder in like 2 seconds.
Sure does.
I know she gets like that Freddy Krueger kiss and just punches her tongue through the back of his head.
Which Oh,
she
Lord.
does, but that honestly looks pretty cool when it happens.
So, just quickly, like, she doesn't kill this guy because he's a diabetic. It's because she's throwing out some fucking hard signals, and he's just like, yup. And then she's like, well, you kind of got the beat us. I changed my mind, but he's already just like fucking flagpole status right now. He's like, no. Now.
Nope, you're saying no, and that's okay, but I'm saying yes, and yes overrules no.
99 no's and a yes is still a yes.
Oh, he's like, either we fucking or I'm fucking.
Oh, no.
Everyone somehow finds out they know where this guy lives, somehow.
Yeah, they talk to like the bartender or something and is like, hey, any of the regulars leave here with a blonde girl? Hey, Mike left here with a blonde girl.
It's a fucking club where people run in and out all night long. Yeah. And they sing out this.
LA.
Yeah. Also, I don't want to dig too deep into the geography, but she goes from downtown LA to Hollywood seemingly without an automobile at this point, and like, that's not walkable.
Well, you heard the guy as she walked through the doors, like, you're in, legs. Boom. Fucking fix that plot hole right there.
I guess.
Exactly.
And then they just show up and they're like, wonder why she killed this guy. Everyone kind of pokes around the room doing their character's one character trait. Michael Madsen's over there like hands on the hips looking gruff. You got CSI lady doing CSI things. And then you got Forrest Whitaker going, she was threatened. He was threatening her. And the other guys standing in the background like, I wish I could get some pussy.
Yep.
Fucking Alfred Nerd Guy Molina.
Yeah, and in between several of these scenes, I don't know if we've mentioned it, there's like this sort of nightmare vision type thing of these really cool Geiger-esque aliens doing things. Like in this one, this specific one, you get two aliens, bumping uglies.
And ugly they are.
They got like some gentle spooning underwater going on.
I mean, that's how you got to do it in the universe,
They lay down on one of them bitches about how they hate sand.
Shut the fuck up, Anakin.
So she scurries away and I guess steals his car and makes her way to Santa Monica. Again, like for somebody that doesn't know the area, that's kind of a long drive. And probably even more so for someone who's never driven a car before. Like, I get that she's a fast learner, but the car runs out of gas and she just abandons it there in the road. She hops out and obviously gets hit by a car just immediately.
Immediately.
Yeah.
As you do. I mean, it's LA. Whatever.
Now, this to me is one of the biggest detractors in the film, to me anyways. She gets hit by a car, and it's one of the weirdest fucking editing cuts I've ever seen in my life.
Because they didn't have a dummy. That's the only thing I can think of. They didn't have a dummy so you can see the contact of the car with the actress, quote unquote. So it's just like, aggressive car, and then like, person thrown through bus stop.
But man,
I wasn't paying attention to that at all.
Dude, the cut is so weird. It's literally like front of a car and then the second half of her going through the glass. Not her flying through the air and then going through the glass, but like the end of it. Like somehow we missed it.
I don't know. I guess at this point they had spent like all their money on the wall vision and just like, wait a minute, this is an effect. Fuck, we can't hit this woman for real.
Now, you're talking about spending all of the fucking budget. There's a scene where, with the train, and it's got the weird H.R. Geiger train chasing her down the tracks. Geiger paid for that scene because they didn't want to put it in there.
Oh, really?
Well, good for him.
It was actually one of the more entertaining bits of the movie, even if it was all for 5 seconds, because it was interesting.
Yeah, anytime it switches to like this sort of nightmarish vision kind of thing, I'm really cool with that. Like, if more of the movie had been like that, I think it would have been way more successful, way more interesting just in general, but it wasn't, so it's not.
No, this movie's just a vehicle for titties. That's all it is.
Vehicle for titties.
Cynical titties.
Now, fucking, she gets hit by the car and rescued by John Q. fucking good guy. And he's like, just throw it on my credit card while she's in the hospital. And she fucking just pulls a Wolverine and heals up her entire back, which was destroyed.
Yeah, like she had like a broken shoulder. The doctor comes in and was like, yeah, she's got a broken shoulder. She's going to need surgery on that. Oh my God, it's repairing itself.
Yeah, like, why did it take so long to fucking repair itself to begin with if she had that power? Like, why did she wait for fucking Dr. McGonagall to come in just to be like, and then leave.
How is only her shoulder broken when she was hit head on by a vehicle? Like no leg shattering, no broken arm where she puts her hands out, just the shoulder.
I got nothing.
It's fucking weird. But then she just gets up and walks out, and the guy's like, "Hey, you're okay? You're good to leave?" She's like, "Yeah, you want to fuck?" And he's like, "Let's go."
She's like, "Can we go?" And he's like, "Wait, where are we going? Like, what's going on here? I don't know your name yet."
Doesn't matter. None of this matters. Let's just go.
You got titties. You're pretty. Yeah, it's cool. We'll figure it out.
Pretty titties. Those rhyme. Let's go.
Yeah.
Whenever they make it to his place, it's fucking nice.
This guy definitely fucks. He's got a Polaroid camera.
I mean, besides that, like, his place was pretty fucking big. You're right. Like, the entire time I'm just thinking, what's he do? You know?
Dude, I thought about that with the first guy as well. Like, the scumbag dude.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, man, he's got a real nice fucking place. I wonder what he does.
I'll tell you, like, there are so many houses just in this area, like the Los Angeles area as a whole, that are just super nice. And this is in the I saw it on the computer, the Pacific Palisades, which that's like only fucking super wealthy people live there. So he's got to be like I don't know, what did rich people do in 95?
So you're telling me, like, when he hands over the fucking credit card to pay for her bills, it's because he is the doctor?
Nah, he's probably working them stonks. He's probably the inventor of Wall Street bets.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Now, she gets back to his place, and he's like, here's some fruit and cheese, and check out all these flowers, and oh, your tits are out, and you want to fuck? I was not ready for this.
Yeah, they get down in her hot tub, and, like, she's naked, and he's down there, too, and she's like, let's take this out. Let's take these off. And he's like, wait.
I had a good giggle. Like, she was trying to yoink his shorts off and stuff, and he's just like, give me, like, a second.
Yeah, he's like, I want a baby. And he's like, what?
And then that was all he got to say. He's like, I want a baby. Huh?
Nope.
Oh, you don't want one? I didn't get drowned.
Yeah, I'm out.
Dive.
Yeah,
He's just, at that point, he's like, thank you. If it was this or a baby.
Dodged a bullet.
Sure did. And this is when she turns into, like, alien form, sort of, right? She starts, like, growing spines and tentacles and stuff like that.
Yeah. She
chokes the shit
out
of them.
And we get to see the tentacle come fucking creeping out, and it goes in this man's throat. And all I could think was, man, I have seen this on too many hentais.
I mean, the only thing I could think of was, like, enough. Like, she already was holding him underwater. His neck was constricted by one tentacle, and then one goes in his mouth. I'm just like, I get it. He's dead. Yeah. Like, next, please.
Well, did you like the look of shame and just remorse on his face while the tentacle goes in his mouth? He's just like, oh, come on.
Shit, not again.
Like, you're killing me. Do I have to go out shamefully? Yes.
But the Mr. Team or whatever you call them shows up at the right place, wrong time kind of situation. Instead of just like knocking down the front door or whatever, they kind of like creep around the side for 10 whole minutes as this guy just like bubbling away in his hot tub.
He's just having a little boil. But yeah, they show up like right behind when they should, probably 5 minutes behind his death. And she's still like creeping out in the woods or something, just being all naked and alien-y.
And for some reason, like, Chocolate Rain Man can't sniff her out for whatever reason. And Michael Madsen is, like, climbing around this tree looking over a fence. And the whole reason, like, he's out there for way too long is so that CSI can be scared by a squirrel. I'm just like...
Like, the biggest jump scare of the whole movie is a squirrel.
Dude, none of this scene matters. Like, this is almost a 2-hour fucking movie. They could have cut out so much of this forced nonsense, and for them to have Michael Madsen, Forrest Whitaker, Ben Kingsley, CSI lady, they are not used in literally any way, shape, or form. They just show up, go, huh, and then it's on to the next thing.
Like, we get Forrest Whitaker, while they're poking around, he's like, oh, we interrupted her. And Ben Kingsley's like, yes, I think we did. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Get the fuck out.
Like, to me, this is such a waste of Forrest Whitaker as a character and as an actor. He's literally doing nothing.
The entire team of people aren't doing anything. They legitimately just, like, attach it to hip. They arrive at a location. Wow, shit's fucked up. I guess we gotta go to the next place where shit's fucked up. Okay, yeehaw.
Yeah.
Oh, there was another little scene, not even a little scene, but I think we skipped over it. The one where I guess the team goes back to do some science stuff. I don't even really know what they were doing, but
yeah, laboratory scene, yeah.
yeah. I don't know what their goal was there, but the end result is
fuck, yeah, you brought up that whole fucking spiel, and it's equally stupid to anything else in this movie. Because
sure is.
they make this fucking species monster for whatever fuck reason, and then CSI has this dumbass idea. It's like, well, what if you just used all species DNA and no human DNA, so you could have like a super monster to verse the other monster? And Ben Kingsley's just like, fuck, I just nutted. We gotta go to the lab and do this right now.
So they're in there with this thing that's in like a glass box or whatever under a microscope, and something happens. It doesn't matter, but the thing starts to grow. It gets injected with sperm or whatever. It starts to grow immediately. It's just all over the place. And they're like, let us out of here. And Ben Kingsley's like, no, we can't risk it getting out. We have to burn you both alive.
It got the hardest laugh out of me out of the entire movie. And it wasn't even because of the situation, because I feel like it was the only moment in the entire movie where Michael Madsen gave a genuine reaction to something. And they're like scrambling around trying to get out of this lab before they all burn up. And he gets a peek at what's bubbling around inside the little glass box. And he's like, the fuck is that?
I think it's both his character and him as an actor realizing this scene is ridiculous. I've got to get the fuck out of here.
It's so
both out of this scene and out of this movie.
Like, okay, this to me was the hardest thing to sit through, because you're like, no, this is so fucking ridiculously bad. Okay, number one, the monster fuzz mucus ball thing looks super cool. It's like mold on steroids. I love the way they make it grow, the way it like undulates. It's fucking neat. But watching Big Kingsley go, no, it's protocol. We have to make sure it doesn't get out. It's still locked in the goddamn box. They could have walked out 10 minutes before this thing ever got out of that box.
Yep. I know the movie got a movie trope or whatever, but like this whole argument happens over like 15 minutes. And like that thing was, and the threat was only like for like, what, 10 seconds really? That entire time where he's like, no, we follow protocol. They could have left easily. But no, they have to have Michael Madsen fucking poke and prod at this monster like he's churning butter in the corner. And it's just fucking embarrassing. That's all I can say about it.
He's like, I'm poking it with a broken mop handle. I killed it. And he's like, oh God, you didn't kill it. You've only made it stronger with mop powers.
Well, now you're just pissing it off. Yeah. Like, all of this to, like, result in absolutely no progress being made. Like, the alien creature, whatever, it dies. Like, the new one that they make or whatever. And who is it? Alfred Molina presses the escape button just in time for them to get out. This is just like a 15-minute sink of time.
Oh, yeah. Now, did you guys consider this? Because I did. The lab is fucking miles away.
Yeah. Like the last time I don't know if it's the same lab or not, but that's a good point. Like, if it's the same lab that she escaped from, that was in fucking BFE somewhere, like a whole fucking train rides away.
Yeah, that was middle of nowhere, Utah.
Yeah. So did they just drop everything and go back to Utah for a split second? Wouldn't this whole thing take some time? They were just instantly there doing it.
I don't know. Maybe they have labs set up in LA, but it looked like the same lab. I don't know.
Maybe it was just to fulfill a thing in Michael Madsen's contract, who was like, well, do I get to poke it?
You'll get to hit it and then say, maybe that thing deserves its revenge, and maybe we deserve to die.
Shut up, Michael Madsen.
Also in his contract is I have to be in the same scene with some titties. If this movie is going to have that much titty in it, I got to be in it.
Oh,
well,
man.
All right, we can do that.
Like,
it's not going to be the ones you want, but we can do that.
Like, I'm super happy his agent has figured out his acting to titty ratio in all of his projects.
Look, when I first started watching this film, I was all about the species titty. But by the end of this film, I was more into CSI's titties, because I was like, you know what? She looks like she's about to do some freaky fucking shit with him. Like, she just crawling on her hands and knees like, look, I need some dick.
I straight up thought this was just going to be like a titty flick, but man, it is way worse than that.
Yeah, like, okay, so the next thing that we see is her running around naked, obviously. And she runs into a woman in the supermarket parking lot and is like, oh my God, you've got to help me. Next thing you know, the lady's just tied up and she's stealing her car.
Yeah, it's this whole, I don't know, it's really elongated. So the whole idea of her kidnapping this poor woman at the supermarché is that she is going to use her, well, for her house and car, but also she's going to use her dead body eventually to fake her own death and escape the mystery team.
Trying to get them off her tracks a little bit. So she starts filling up with like 20 gallons of gasoline in jugs in the back seat.
She does, but like the movie doesn't communicate it well, so she just starts doing all this shit, and you're like, what the flying fuck is she doing with these bottles of piss? And it doesn't come together as like, it doesn't coalesce as well as the movie wants it to. Mm-hmm. And she spends like a half hour of this fucking movie, if not 20 minutes, putting this all together just for like, I don't know. It's like, it's not even a climax. It's just like a fucking fart in the wind.
No, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Like when she eventually does it, it's just like, oh, yeah, well, I guess, like, go on.
Yeah, exactly. And then you look at the runtime and you still have another half hour left with like, something's up. All right.
Yeah, another fucking half hour after she chops off her thumb.
Yep.
And is like, do you have nightmares? And the lady's like, no. She's like, you will now. Chop.
And she cuts off her thumb with like some gardening shears and regrows it immediately and was like, I'm just going to keep this for later. It's our little secret.
That's the tool we'll use for later.
Yeah.
Yeah. That poor woman. Her and that fucking lady on the train, I'm just like, come on, man. Like, I get it. She's not supposed to be anywhere near a good guy, but just like, this comes off as mean-spirited.
100%.
A little bit, yeah.
These people are trying to help her, and she's like, fuck you. You would be afraid because I'm a monster. How am I a monster? I'm going to steal your car, wreck it, and use your corpse with my thumb for them to think. Like, what the fuck is going on? Because, okay, they go to the club because she's going to be there, right? Duh. Okay, she shows back up. Forrest Whitaker's like, oh shit, there she is. They chase her in a helicopter and a car. She fucking rigs up all this shit, jumps out of the car last minute, car explodes, then gets shot with missiles. The thumb that she left there is all that they decide that they need to test. That one fucking piece that she planted is all they need. Not the entirety of the body. Don't test that. Test the thumb.
Yeah.
The amount of logic you have to like put on the wall and fucking forget is pretty high. Like the highest it will be in this whole movie because you're right. She's an alien. Like, shouldn't her corpse look like fucking cooked spaghetti or something like that? Like, not just like a regular person.
True. Yeah, like, okay, she drives this car full of gasoline into this, like, electrical transformer thing. Big explosion, lots of sparks. It's a fireball. Okay, I'm going to assume that lady at the supermarket, her corpse is just nothing. Like, it's probably burned up to a crisp. But this thumb, we recovered this thumb. It's completely fine, and it matches her fingerprints. I guess they had her fingerprints somewhere. Doesn't matter. But the thumb is fine.
Now, step 2. They shoot rockets from a helicopter. Why did they not shoot the rockets from the helicopter to begin with while it was chasing her on the abandoned back road?
Well, we still have another half hour.
You got me there. And you know what they do for that half an hour? They go get a fucking drink.
Yeah, they go back to the Cedric Hotel from Ghostbusters. They have a fucking party. They get their drink on. They're all sad and horny, depending on who you are.
Speaking of sad and horny, ooh, this smells tasty. What I've got here today is from Mammoth Brewing Company out of Mammoth Lakes, California. This is the Yosemite Pale Ale, and it's got a nice little image of Yosemite with a waterfall and all that good stuff. Very pretty can. This is a pale ale, 5.5% alcohol by volume. That smells nice, I'll tell you that. It's got a nice full body to it, a little bit of spice, a little bit of malty sweetness. Not overly hopped, which I appreciate. There is like this hoppy backbone in the finish, a little bit of bitterness, which is good, but it's not overly so. It's got a good balance of sweetness, bitterness. You get I think there's a little bit of rye in there. I can taste a little bit of spicy rye notes. This is just like a well-balanced, solid pale ale. I really like this.
Well, speaking of full-bodied, good old Species lady's on her like new plan, her new year, new me look, because she cuts her hair, dyes it. She's a brunette now. Now nobody knows who the fuck she is.
Yeah, and honestly, I gotta say, she looks way better as a brunette to me.
I agree. I think she's actually more attractive as the brunette.
Yeah, so, all right. She's supposed to be dead. The Planeteers are out celebrating. But Michael Madsen's just like, my gut says she ain't dead. But oh well, let's get some drinks instead. The redhead decides, she's going to bed. Fucking Michael Madsen's like, maybe I'll snoop up there, see if she needs any what am I trying to say here?
So Michael Madsen's gut says she's still alive, but his dick says I'm horny.
That's right. So he follows little Miss CSI up to her bedroom, and she's like, what do you want? And he's like, I'm just gonna walk in, and one thing leads to another. Yeah, contract fulfilled.
Contract fulfilled.
Yep.
They're fucking going at it. Species comes back, starts banging Alfred Molina in the other room, and Chocolate Rain Man just like gets that fucking sixth sense, like, man, everybody's fucking but me.
That fucking eye twitch. Yeah. He goes up and he's like, he gets that little tingle, and he's like, hey, there's somebody in his room with him. I think it's the alien.
And they are fucking.
Like, I wish like the fucking sex noises were just like absurdly loud at that moment, just so you can just like see him just try to process the moment, just like, I think they're having a sex.
Having a sex. Just one.
Just the way he comes off, because like he knocks on the CSI's and Michael's door, and he's just like, "Hey, Corbin, my man, they're fucking over there,
Corbin, my man, they fucking Corbin."
And they're just like, oh, this fucking guy. Look, they're just probably having some fun. And he mentions like, oh, it could be fucking Species Lady, and Michael's just like, fucking felt it in my dick. Let's go.
He's like,
don't worry,
I'm still half hard.
I'll put some clothes on and go check it out. You go back to your room. I'll be in to turn out the light here in a minute.
Oh, tucking him in.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we're being treated to like a very weird sex scene because they show the Alfred guy way too much and he looks fucking weird. And then you got like beautiful species chick with her nice tits and round ass riding, and you're like, this is good to look at. Stop showing him, please.
But like, Alfred Molina is doing his best at conveying that like he knows this is weird, he knows this is wrong, something's not right. A girl this pretty would never just come on to me like this.
I feel like he should have hammed it up. He should have hammed it up, just like, yes, no.
Just 100% just fucking Renfield from Dracula Dead and Loving It.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, master! Just...
And of course, like, through this entire thing, he's not that fucking smashed. He had like a couple Long Island iced teas, and like, he just doesn't put two and two together. Like, her face, her physique doesn't change. Just her hair. Like, is he that fucking... you know what? He gave up.
Well,
that's
like,
what it was.
Michael Madsen rode up in the elevator with her and was just like, yeah, I like your perfume. All right, have a good night, He
didn't even fucking look at her.
Not like, even a...
Oh, you're a woman.
Can we please discuss the fact that this man meets a complete stranger in his room, fucks her, and also dumps in her?
Yeah, Yep, that's what happens. He nuts, just straight up bricks in her, and then from the look on her face, she does not finish either. Like, or from the look on her face.
So that's why she fucking turns him inside out. She's just like, fuck this fucking nerd.
She starts growing spines, and then suddenly Molina is just dead AF. Just instant death.
I need your boots, your flannel, and your man rope.
Oh.
So the team starts to bust in on him, and she busts through that wall like the Kool-Aid man, runs out of there, and all right, we got to chase after her again. This is the last chase, I hope, right?
It just culminates into like a jump scare featuring Michael Madsen and titty tentacles.
Yeah, that's the finale of this film. It's basically if you take Gremlins and add tits to the Gremlin.
No.
She's the gremlin. She's the female gremlin from Gremlins 2. This is her story.
No.
Yes.
Why do you say? Why are you so hurt about that?
Oh.
Because now it's two green creatures that he's masturbated to.
Oh Christ, man! Like the whole end of this movie is just like you can 100% tell, like, every actor / actress has completely given up on this movie.
They are done.
Not a fuck in the wind if they could catch one. Like, to the point that, like, there's a small scene where they have to get the big guns to fucking fight this thing. And instead of Michael Madsen just opening the back of the van, he's like, I'm gonna shoot this van, and just blows out the back window just so he can grab the guns. It's his van. I
don't even remember all of that. They just scurry through the sewers, through the boiler room, and they're just chasing after her with guns. Ben Kingsley's back. I don't know where he comes from, but he's back.
India.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, he's only back for a second, though. He's the first one dead in his fucking Muldoon death scene where he's like following the creature and yelling at Forrest Whitaker, like, follow me, Forrest Whitaker. And then he's like, clever girl. And he gets titty killed.
She's hiding underwater. You know she's under the water in the sewer. And Ben Kingsley sees some bubbles and is like, huh, let me watch that for just a little bit too long. Oh my God!
Is it bad that, like, Chandler's performance is fucking 10 times better than Gandhi's?
Now, I won't say
I'll take my Oscar now.
Better, but I'll say it's on par. Because Ben Kingsley was, like, at this point, the acting and the story and the CGI fall apart so quick. Like, they have a bodysuit for the creature that looks absolutely amazing, and they go with this fucking horrid CG creature.
Because there was no trust in what they had already written. They're like, hey, this thing has to do parkour now. Why? It's fucking cool.
Yeah. Oh.
Here we go, guys. This is how it ends.
Run us through it.
She gives birth with gremlin noises. And a baby somehow comes out of her chest and instantly grows to a 6-year-old that eats rats.
It's not a 6-year-old, but it's definitely like full on toddler size. Like, that kid's in preschool.
Yeah.
As soon as it comes out.
This is definitely like a Nirvana Nevermind cover situation.
Ooh, very good. Very good.
Like, there's this pool of oil down there in the the sewers has a crack in it that becomes a cave system, and there's this pond of oil sitting down there, I guess left over from whatever they had on the set of Volcano.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So it's down there just sitting. You know, we won't need that or anything.
And they say it's this whole entire fissure opened up because of an earthquake that happened. Something that was never discussed or mentioned through this entire movie.
Not once.
Ever.
No, but we do understand where it came from. They are in LA, and Louis Lafarte needed to pass gas one last time.
Oh, man. They were just like, hey, this ending sucks. Let's just add parkour and fire. Got it.
Dude. Okay, so there's a baby. They set it on fire because it's malformed. Whatever. Forrest Whitaker hangs off a cliff for entirely too long for someone of his girth.
Yeah.
Syl shows up, tries to strangle Michael Madsen with the titty, then is shot multiple times, falls backwards into that fire pit because they got Elon Musk flamethrowers, but she's not dead because it's the 90s. She leaps out, shot in the face with a horrible one-liner from Michael Madsen.
God, that fucking one-liner gave me an aneurysm. I was so fucking ready for some kind of payoff. Maybe he get to shoot off that one line where I'm just like, okay, that was kind of badass. And he's just like, what was it? Let go, motherfucker.
Then her head just gets blown off.
They had a chance to quote 2 wonderful movies right here. If you're going to do like a close-up headshot, you could either A, reference your source material, H.R. Geiger, Alien. She could have been like, let go of her, you bitch, or get away from him, you bitch. Something like that. And we all could have been like, oh man, Aliens. What a great throwback.
Dope.
Or he could have went with smile, you son of a bitch, like Jaws, and then blew the head off. That would have been great.
So all it just comes down to like them throwing shit together at the end because Michael Madsen probably asked the directors like, so what do I say here? He's like, just make it up, be an action hero. And he's just like, all right.
No, he didn't write that. Somebody who thought they were writing like an epic one-liner wrote that and was like, yeah, that's cool. And Michael Madsen said it and was like, really? All right, let's do this again. No, it's cool. Let's wrap it up. That's good enough. It'll be awesome.
Got it.
The movie ends on the cliffhanger of there's a rat that somehow ate some of the thing, and now it's a thing. No one gives a shit. And in the sequel, that has nothing to do with anything, just so y'all know. But
Well, thank God.
Can we please discuss how much of this movie feels like it was first take?
Like we've mentioned previously, there's no characterization, no character arcs, barely a plot. This movie is scene to scene. I feel like they had an idea and they started filming.
The plot is, hey, there's an alien that has broke out and she wants to fuck. Stop her from fuck.
Oh, stop her from fuck. Oh.
This splice without as much fucking.
I didn't see Splice.
Oh man, I feel like this is a really really bad pitch meeting. They're just like, how about aliens? Okay, with titties. You got it.
Yeah.
That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. And the fucking trucks of money start rolling in.
Somebody really thought this was going to be like the next big thing. It was like, hey, let's make this aliens, but on
Sex.
Earth. Hear me out. Titties. All right, let's do it. Script? We don't need one. Not important.
It's all action and titties. Without any action and some titties.
Some titties. No script. And like you said, like character development, none at all for any character across the board. There's no growth. There's no, I mean, I guess if you're talking about physical growth, there's growth. But no one is any better than they were when this movie started.
Just quickly, I think the only emotion that ever cropped up was just like an hour and a half in the movie and CSI lady was just horny.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The chemistry between Michael Madsen and her in the later half of the film is actually enjoyable and kind of funny just because I feel like they don't give a shit and they're just goofing around with one another.
So basically, this movie is just somebody's fan fiction. That's all the fuck it is. Somebody watched Aliens and saw the xenomorph, is like, man, what if you fucked it? Let's find out.
No, you're absolutely right. Somebody watched Aliens, was like, man, what if we made like a Cinemax porno out of that? Ooh, no, but let's take that and make it mainstream. Let's put it in theaters. We got to dial back the sexy a little bit, but it'll be great. It'll be a blockbuster. Script? No, we don't need a script. Let's just, that's good enough. Let's do it. I mean, I still think it's okay. It's not the worst thing that I ever watched. It's not good.
Personally, I think people were sitting around and like, hey man, you remember Alien? Yeah, dude, why? Did you ever think about fucking it?
See? It just
and they were just like shaking their heads, yeah. And then it became a movie.
Well, there you have it. At Species. If you have any strong feelings about the show or the movie, leave it in the comment section below.
Hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that little bell icon too if you got a tentacle that can reach it. So next time we've got another one of these brewing.
Get out there and follow us on all of our different social medias. We get that Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit. We have a wonderful administrator constantly making new content for you guys, so get out there and check it out. That way we don't have to get Forrest Whitaker to like follow us around and tell us what we already know in a weird, soft voice.
And titties.